starting a new job. And so they gave her a goodie bag, which included Kleenex and eventually a can of corn. This is no joke. So a lot of new homeowner people with a house in there yet, they'll leave shoes outside, but that's not this case. They're actually here. There's dogs. All right. So Vivint was with this. They're with Vivint at another house. They have 2 mortgages. This ain't the first time I run across someone that has 2 houses, 2 mortgages. They're paying Vivint at another location because they don't want Vivint to hit their credit, because they already signed up with Vivint at the other house. So they don't want to get out of it. So when they call Vivint to move the system, they hang up on them. I was like, why are you still paying them? And by law, because I talked to my manager, by law, they can't do that because they're not living in that other house. So the contract's null and void if they're not going to move the equipment. We've got a 13-month moving package, basically, if you're with them for 13 months or with us for 13 months. Within that 13, well, I guess, you know, as long as you paid up good for 13 months, then we have a mover package. We'll move all our equipment with you. I guess Vivint didn't do that. I'm sure they were at the other house for more than 13 months. So they got stuck in an alarm program, and they didn't have a movers package. So they just leave. Vivint just leaves all the their competition, and they just leave all the equipment in the home. And then when you call them to move the equipment, they hang up on you. I've heard this about Vivint. They're like a 5 to 7 year thing. Yeah, they're pretty upset. So really, they don't have to pay it. They don't have to pay Vivint anymore. But they're doing it because the Vivint will hit their credit. So they can't. And they figured that out with the credit people. I used to be a banker. Like Karma, what's it called? Credit Karma and all those people, they can look at that stuff and figure out, oh, okay, this is someone trying to threaten their credit, and it doesn't always hit the credit. I've gone from a 200 credit score like scale thing. So going from like 500 something up to 700 something when I worked for this bank, because I was educated on what people can do. You can send letters to creditors and knock them out of the system. You can pay off older accounts if you want. You don't have to, but you can, and that does increase credit, but you don't have to. The way that you increase credit, or the way that you get good credit, is you have an active account that's paid on time. That's what they're looking for. If they see delinquent accounts, you can't really go back and rescue it, because eventually they're not going to pay that forever. They're not going to pay for a system that they don't live in that house forever. You know, they move to another house. So when contracts are broke and stuff, the credit companies figure that out, and eventually it bounces out. And then all of a sudden I look at my credit and I'm like, wow, how did I get up to 700? I had this credit card out. Well, that credit card was not a valid credit card under the other credit card associations, if you know what I mean. There's a lot of scams and stuff like that, and they can figure it out eventually. But they're like, oh no, we're going to just pay it anyway, and we don't even live in that house, another house, and that house is completely empty. No, by law, they can't do that. That contract's null and void, but they're just waiting. These are all going to be new houses, all right in here. So when the dweller goes in there and the alarm goes off and everything, and they're dwelled in there, they can't go in there and rip them out. They better not. They just become a landlord to a dweller. It's called squatter rights. A long time ago, you could try to shoot them. You get the death penalty for that. It's called premeditated murder against a dweller. So that security system, it better be, it's not going to really do anything. They'll just trip the alarm, get their sleeping bag, boom, they're good to go. They have all the same rights you do. Look at the law on squatters. It's called squatter rights. Now that fire alarm, well, it's actually not just a fire alarm, it's a burglary. It's 105 decibel. It'll go off for 24 hours. Once the battery's dead, home sweet home. If it's a dweller. If it's a crook, like someone that's just trying to steal, they'll most likely just run away. But if it's someone that's trying to live, like a squatter, then you could ask them, say, hey man, can you PayPal me? But look, how it works is one bird in your hand is better than two in the bushes. So you want to protect the home that you have. The dwellers are the dwellers. You have to leave them alone by law. Squatters, you have to leave them alone. Check out what's going on in New York. You got a rent house, or if you don't have a rent house, it doesn't even matter. If you have property and they get in, good luck. What you want to do is be as nice as you can to them and say, can we work on an agreement on what we can make a payment on what we can do? Because Arlen, we could still be there if we wanted to. And he knows who I'm talking to. Because I think he might watch the show. We could still be there if we wanted to. We left because, well, we were sent to leave by someone that you'll understand one day. So were a lot of other homeowners, especially the new homeowners. Now, in my screenplay, Your Love with Paid Training, Lisa Leann Lee is a home dweller. She's also a drunk home dweller. You'll get to know that when you see the movie. Yeah, some people will leave because it'll make their life easier, and that's what you're supposed to do. But they don't have to make your life easier. Not by law. Check out what's going on in New York with people just dwelling in people's properties. But I understand why they want the alarm system now. Okay, at the empty home. It's better just to protect what you have, is what I know, what God has taught me. It's better to protect what you have. These little Mustangs are good to have a little camera on. Look at that right there. Right there. Look, right there. That way if someone tried to grab an old antique hubcap, California, they'd actually be able to see them. They have facial recognition on some of those and package recognition. So if they steal something off of it, it'll alert the police. It can recognize behavior. Isn't that cool? Hardest thing is to figure out if they've moved in. There is a package, which could be a good sign. Some type of curtain, no cars. I'm probably gonna say they haven't, but I'm gonna do a go back anyway. You really know at night, so if you go 5, 6, and it's still the same, there's most likely to not move in yet. All right, that's 24/7. Yeah, it's a fairly new sign. When I worked with Safe Haven, they were, I don't want to get into their pay or anything, I don't want to get into pay, but one of their trainers basically was a military police officer. He was an MP, he wasn't a beat cop. He was a police officer on a military base. He'd always talk about rip outs. It was like, yeah, we sometimes can get them before they place the sign, you know, the brand new sign for the monitoring, like that one had, and tell them, look, they got you in what? A 7-year contract. They're making you pay for the equipment. We'll give you the equipment at no charge, and we've got a, you know, better length on the plan on the contract and a better monthly monitoring rate. They're like, let me see what you got. Oh, you know what? That is a better plan. What do? We can do what's called a rip out. They rip out the other system and put in their system. I mean, if they sincerely didn't want their system, they could do a rip out. But most people are, you know, they might, you know, it depends on the system that they have. After all, you are being monitored by someone, you know. Couldn't send you a text and you move that sign for me, could you? All right, maybe not. Yeah, it happens. They don't always update it properly on the Google Maps. Yeah, it was that military police guy, Aaron. He had this like little kind of Martin Luther bowl haircut, and he had one of those vape. All right, so here's how it works with your pay. This is how the pay is laid out. But, you know, I'm not going to really judge, because what people do in their own time, you know, that, you know, they're not stupid, but here's the thing, like, in the 70s, everybody would have a cigarette. You know, it'd be like, even me, I'd be like, right, I gotta get to church on time. You know, I mean, everybody smoked in the 70s. I mean, everybody. Even the pastor would go behind the church and have a quick, you know. But yeah, I'm not going to judge. You know, probably the pastor wouldn't, but some of them probably did, though. Yeah, I'm still waiting on that MagSafe thing. It's going to go like right here. So Temu, I found out about Temu. I'm going to see if I can use a prepaid card. What they do when you get an item, and I found a MagSafe, you know, it's like, I think it's maybe magnet. I don't know if I want to trust the magnet, but I might. And you put the phone on it, and it's supposed to secure the phone, and it's magnet. They'll lower the price as you wait to pay on it. It just went down like $1. It's like $10. It was $11, and they just notified me. Now it's $10. Buy it. And this is called a festival. They have them up north. You can walk in here and put your snow coat. It's basically called a festival. Yeah, they might have moved in. You got raked leaves right here. You got that thing and a card in the door.
Get a whack at the gavel.
You wouldn't settle for just any.
Yeah, that's worth a try. It's a new homeowner moving in. Yeah, this is probably still a move-in. So, you'd put not moved in yet. You ever notice their license plate are all the same? We are Legion. Jesus, love. Look at that. And it's only 3:17. All right, I got it. Maybe more rapport and less sales pitch. You do want to sell something, you want to sell it, but you want to have a little more rapport. This is Lake Worth. It's worth knocking if there's a car. Is that what they say? Really under the breath. All right, so what you want to do, see that button right there? You want to hit it. It'll look like that because they're already monitored. You can tell also right there, the brand new sign. So that's a good sign. Yeah, some of the signs are beat up, but it was a car and you never know. But he just moved in and got monitored. So it's a really nice house. That's what it'll look like. I think what it is something that they say, it's like a code, because pretty much, and I'm not putting that in the script, but they're signing up Legion, and they're basically on their side. These things kill. Distracting very much. You get 2 dogs to do something like that would be a bitch and a half, but they do it. They'd have it rigged on the camera. I mean, on the car. The camera rigged on the car, and the trained dogs run along with big smiles on their faces. I think I've been to these before. Some of them, they just move them in and out like little apartments almost. They're basically like renters. It's private property. But I'm trying to see if that's the number. Hunting. They don't want hunters on it, basically. Hunting and fishing. I've got apples at home myself. Oh, those are the 2, I think. Yep. They made it far really quick. They're 2 dogs. They're on the prowl. He's following the other one. Dang, $2.55. You get the cheapest gas in town. Down the road is Walmart. It's probably even cheaper. And actually, we might be stopping by there and getting a refill. And when I'm not around, you take a freaking knife to that dang mouse on your mirror and cut it off. Now do some jumping jacks. Yeah, I remember this was one of the first ones I freaking knocked on a long time ago. Yeah, they're good to go. Dude, where'd he go? Oh my goodness. What's his name? Huh? His name's what? Whoa. Yeah, they still don't do tap at the Walmart gas station or inside Walmarts. They just don't tap. You got to put the card in the little thing with the chip or slide it. I'm like, do y'all have those old-fashioned credit card things where they have the carbon? You remember the little carbon thing where that, like, you ran the credit card through the little carbon thing? Whoa, man, it's too low to be comfortable. Woo-wee. You'll never ever believe this. My hat trick was basically a grand slam. A hat trick is 3. Like, it's a car salesman thing where they would make 3 sales in one day. They call it a hat trick because it's like, well, I made 3 sales in one day. Yeah, got a little hat trick. All of them couldn't do it, and that's how this is. All of them. One was already signed up, so it was a dealer dispute. One called and just canceled. And then the third guy, when the installer showed up, he turned them away. I guess canceled with the installer. So what I thought was a hat trick, wasn't exactly hat tricking. Sorry, but I'd get monitored if I was him. So you see that right there? He's got footage of someone inside his truck. Someone got in his truck, I don't know, to go to sleep or whatever, and the cops can't do anything. I mean, he has the footage, but if you have monitored, they recognize behavior and they can come out and deter them, rather than show the footage later on. It's proactive rather than retroactive. So it's like, yeah, I got the footage of him breaking in my truck. Well, whenever he shows everything to them, they're like, what do you want us to do? You know what I mean? What are they going to do? They don't run after cell phones. Someone got in your truck. Where is the guy? Is he over there? Did he go over that way? They could go look. And then are they going to go through Saginaw and start interviewing all these people walking around? And there's not that many, but there's maybe 1 or 2. They might, but he has facial recognition where he's like, okay, well, then I can press charges. Well, they still aren't going to go looking for the guy if he sat in his truck. My sister did that one time. When she was younger, we were like teenagers. She went over to the neighbor's car, sat in the car and smoked the neighbor's cigarettes. And they didn't really do anything, but just like, don't do that again kind of thing. Same thing with like egging houses and stuff. They don't really go after them really, but they can deter it. If it's monitored, they can show up and get them red-handed. Then they can file the criminal trespass charge. And you can trespass anybody you want for any reason. You don't even have to have a reason for it. If someone got in your truck, you don't have to have like, well, what was he doing in my truck? He didn't take anything, but he was still in my truck. He was like sitting in my truck. Well, how I see it is that would be a good sign to start getting monitored if someone got in your truck and was sitting in it. Have you ever seen Cape Fear? That's like a real good reason. The guy was in my truck. Well, what kind of guy was in your truck? He was a kid. Well, I don't know, but he was in my truck. I'm like, you have cameras that are not monitored. So you have the footage. You can do whatever you want with the footage. You could put it on YouTube if you'd like. But they're not going to do anything. I mean, you could actively try to trap the guy. But when you're monitored, that's when they can get them. They can go in and try to deter them. And probably they would haul them off, or I guess it would be criminal trespassing or criminal mischief or something if they found him in the truck. And he's like, this happened also to another friend of mine where the dad got up to go to work and there was a guy in his car, but he just let him out. He was sleeping in his car. He just opened the door and let him out. It may have happened to you, or it could happen to you. Now, if you're monitored, then they would come out. That's what they do. They're connected with ADT. And they would ask them, are you supposed to be in this guy's truck? Are you supposed to be in this person's car? How would he get in his truck anyway? That's another thing I wanted to know. I didn't ask him, well, how did he get in the truck? He probably left it unlocked and didn't think about it. I'm all set. Thank you. I'm all set. Appreciate it. We're good for here. He's okay. He doesn't want to open the door all the way, though. You know what I mean? But he's like, I'm okay. The door's like cracked like this, It's like, it's like by the door. He's like, I'm not going to open it all the way, but I'm okay. Thanks. I'm looking at that one, and then I'm like, okay. And then I'm looking at this one, going, okay. I see, like, oh, okay. Cool. What's wrong with this one? So I would show you, only when the camera's activated, that's what ends up happening. So I have to turn it off and... Well, I can go to another app and I can hit radio and media. And so then it does that. See if it turns. Yep, it's gonna turn. And that'll be fine as long as you don't take a hammer and smash the crap out of it. They don't have the encryption codes. There's no way. This thing, I don't know what kind of code it needs, but it definitely needs to connect with Apple. They need to have a long meeting, Kia and Apple. They need to have like a 3-day meeting, where they analyze what this is supposed to be. Because this should work no matter what. This is a mess because this takes too much time to type everything in. We only have so much time. I will use it, and it is reliable, but it takes a lot of time because you have to pay extra for the voice activation. See? Unavailable while driving. So whenever you do this, with Kia Connect, advanced services accessible, activate now, which I've tried to do, and then it goes to like a circle email thing. It's like it doesn't really activate it. So I've tried it, and I've connected with my email. I've done everything that they want me to do. So I have no idea. So So at least we have backup. If that sticks, build a bunker in your backyard. Right. Get a bunker and dig deep, because that will not stick. Okay. That's already stuck. That will continue. That will stick. All right. On our way. It's going to be 0.3 for the next one. It's EOMS ISD. Huh.